Anybody? Kid's here. He's gone tomorrow. We're not missing anybody? All right. We should dedicate the video. Okay. This video is dedicated to Sini and Carissa D. And I have no idea why that's of any value, but YouTube Nation, in case you're wondering, this is dedicated to them. Because they really like solving equations and inequalities in a technological way. And so, therefore, dedicated to them. Here we go. All right, solve equations and inequalities graphically. And we're going to even say with technology. So let's look at the first example. You're going to be asked in your assignment to solve something algebraically. And we all know how to solve this. 3x minus 2 equals 5x plus 10 minus 3. And if I simply combine like terms, I have 3x minus 2 equals 5x plus 7. Subtract our 5x, negative 2x, minus 2 equals 7. Negative 2x equals 9. Divide by the negative 2. X is negative 4.5. Right? Easy peasy. Piece of cake, upside down. Like, please give me that problem on my test, because I can do it. Well, there's a way that we can confirm that answer algebraically. I want you to understand that this is easy to solve, but if we change the exponents a little bit or put a radical somewhere or something like that, it could all of a sudden be very challenging. And so there's another way that we can solve for this, and it's by creating two graphs. One graph would be y equals 3x minus 2, and the other graph would be y equals 5 times x plus 2 minus 3. Graphically speaking, if I'm looking to solve the x value, what would I be looking for graphically? If this is one equation and this is the other equation, what spot am I looking for? The intersection point. So if we grab our calculators, you guys will have a calculator assignment here next week. Teach you how to do everything on your calculator. You'll be super smart by the end of it. Smarter than you already are now. Let me show you some of the tricks that people play with you on your calculator. You turn on your calculator like, oh, everything's good to go. But down at the bottom here, by like y sub 0, they put like a decimal point. And you weren't aware of it. Because when you go to y equals, you don't see it. And when you go to graph, it says, oh, syntax error. You're like, what's going on? I don't even know what the word syntax is. Well, that's, you know, you can press go to. That's always a good option. Go to, and it'll take you there. And you see, oh, somebody's been messing with my calculator again. Another thing that people like to do is they like to go up to the top here and they like to turn your plots on. And sometimes if there's something then wrong with your plots, then your calculator gets angry at you as well. Well, all you got to do to take them off is just press enter on them and it'll take them off. So once we have a calculator that's clear, it's clean, it's good to go, we just type them in. 3x minus 2. And then for the next one, 5 parentheses x plus 2 minus 3. Does everybody see where I got those two equations? I press, oh, here's the other issue. A lot of times when we press graph, people say, I have a different graph than you. No, we have the same graph, it's just we're looking at it from a different view. And so to make sure we all have the same view, press zoom, and then there's a standard viewing window, which is a 10 by 10 window. So we press 6 for standard, and you get 10 units to the right, 10 units to the left, 10 units up, 10 units down. So there's my two graphs. True or false? I can see the intersection point. False. So I need to go further down, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the y value so I can see further down. So in your window, you have all these lists, x min and x max, y min and y max. What value do I want to change? My y minimum. I want to go from negative 10, and I want to make sure I see it, so I'm going to go down to negative 50. I'll for sure see it. Do you see it? So now you got two ways to kind of find that spot. Number one, you can press trace. And as you move back and forth, you can move right on top that spot, and it says the x value is about negative 4.4. That's pretty close to negative 4.5, right? If you want your calculator to find the exact value of that intersection point, you need to do something different. You need to go second, calculate, and which operation do you think we choose? Intersection. Number 5. Select it. Your calculator asks you what? What is the first curve? Sure, we'll call that the first one. Sure, we'll call that the second one. It will ask you if you want to guess. Don't guess. Just press enter. And it finds that the intersection point is, in fact, negative 4.5. So again, what we did there is look for point of intersection. So that's one way to verify that, in fact, your solution was correct. We use graphing technology in order to find that spot. Well, there's another way to do it graphically as well. This is probably the preferred method among most people, and there's nothing wrong with this, and this is the way I would do it. I would put everything on one side. 0 equals 5 times x plus 2 minus 3 minus 3x plus 2. Does everybody see where I got that? So if we are looking for that equation is equal to 0, then graphically speaking, we are looking where it crosses the when y equals 0, we're solving for the what intercept? X-intercept. So here we are looking for so if I go back to my calculator, I just think it's so cool that, you know, this never gets old on a smart board where you can just drag a calculator around and do whatever with it. It's so different than how I learned when I was taught, you know. So different. I was in college, most of the time blackboards were used. Still. In high school they didn't even use blackboards, they used transparencies. Did you guys have transparencies when you were in grade school and stuff? They had the overhead projector. Yep. Yep. And I do like those. And that's how I always began teaching, but when I came here I got my smart board and it's just so easy. I mean, if you need another file, just open up your files and grab one, you know. It's so nice. Anyway, so I plug it in. 5 parentheses x plus 2 parentheses minus 3 minus 3x plus 2. So that we all see the same viewing window, I'll press zoom 6 for zoom standard. There is my function. Do you see where it crosses the x-axis? We sure do. You can press trace and then follow it back and see if you can find that spot. As I move back there, right about there, it says x is negative 4.46. That's about right, isn't it? You can find it exactly as well. The way that you find the exact value is you press second, calculate. Which one do you think we select now? Very good. Your last name's Freeman, F-R-E-E-M-A-N. The Vikings just signed a quarterback with the last name Freeman today. So I think you should now buy the jersey and wear it. Freeman, it'll look like you're one of the quarterbacks for the Vikings. All right, left bound. Now it asks you the left bound. So as you're on that spot, you need to move to the left. I move to the left, and I press enter. And then it says right bound. I need to move to the right of that spot, so I'll go back up there. Now I got to move to the right of it. Move right a few times. It doesn't matter how far you go. Watch, I'll go all the way up here. It doesn't matter. That's why I'm doing it, to show you the point. And then you don't guess, and it finds it, negative 4.5. What do you think of that? Question. Awesome. 1e negative 12. Anybody know what that means? What does that mean? What number is that about? It's about 0. Your calculator is still an approximating beast. It can't figure it out exactly most of the time. It has to approximate it. So if you get something like that, it's just another way of saying 0. What do you think? Can you do it? Alright, let's try the other problem. I'm trying to sound excited because I know you guys are tired of Mondays now. And you just had lunch, your body's starting to digest that lunch, it's going into nap mode, sleep mode. It can't be that math isn't interesting. I mean, I know that that's not the issue. So, alright. Solve the following inequality by drawing appropriate graphs. So we're going to do, again, 2 graphical methods here. This one we can't really solve algebraically. Too difficult for us. So I'm going to make 2 of them. Y equals 0.32 x squared minus 3x, and y equals x to the third minus 5. The difference is, instead of an equal sign between them, there's a less than sign. And if equation 1 is less than equation 2, what does that mean? Graphically speaking, like if we were to graph them, what would it mean for one to be less than the other? Where's equation 1? Below. Not above, but below equation 2. That's the question we're trying to answer. If you're above, you're greater than. If you're below, you're less than. Makes sense, right? Pretty intuitive. So, we're going to get rid of that. I'm going to type in these 2, and I'll view it in a standard viewing window. We'll see what we get. 0.32 x squared minus 3x x to the third minus 5. And I'm going to zoom 6. Standard viewing window. Cool. We got a parabola, and we got the S-shaped thing that is a cubic. Cool. So I press trace, and I find myself right here, okay? You guys tell me, is my cursor on the first equation or the second equation? First equation. Am I above or below the other equation? I'm above. So I got to find where I'm below. Am I above or below? Still above. Above or below? Still above. How about now? Now I'm finally below. This equation is now below the other one. Wouldn't you all agree that that change happened at the intersection point? That for every value bigger than that one, I'm going to be below. Okay, for every value bigger than that one, I'm going to be below. So let's find that spot. How would you find that spot? Second, calculate. Intersect number 5. It asks me for the first curve. Yes. Second curve. Yes. Guess. No. 1.22. Piece of cake. Upside down. Let's do the second graphical way, then you can go to work. I'm going to put everything on one side. 0 less than x to the third minus 0.32 x squared Minus 3x. What plus 3x? Minus 5. I moved everything over to one side. Hey, you guys, you could choose which option you want to on your assignment. You don't have to do both. You choose whichever one you want. You're like, I like the first way better. Fine, go ahead, use the first way. You say, I like the second way. Fine, use the second way. Do whatever you want. What does it mean to be greater than 0, graphically speaking? Above the x-axis. Where is the graph above the x-axis? Well, that's a good question. If I knew what the graph looked like, I could probably figure that out. So if we go into our y equals, and we type it in, x to the third minus 0.32 x squared plus 3x minus 5 zoom standard. Look at the graph. Press my trace button. Am I above or below the x-axis? Below. Above or below? Above or below? Above. Well, it looks like it happened right at that spot. The change was. If you go right on that spot, you can see it's approximately 1.27. But you know it's not exactly 1.27. I want to find that exact spot. What would I do? Second, calculate 0. You're looking for where it crosses the x-axis or the 0 of the function. Move to the left. There. Press enter. Move to the right. Press enter. No, we don't want to guess. You can see from 1.22 and on towards infinity, the graph is above 0. So x greater than 1.22. If it asks to express it in interval form, 1.22, infinity, done, and done. That's it. You're so smart. Isn't it just fun to write that infinity symbol? Like, don't you feel like, ooh, that means we're in pre-calculus? Like those Algebra 2 students, they won't write infinity. Or I guess they did, inequalities. You wrote it last year, didn't you? Oh, wow. Every once in a while in the summer when I haven't done math, I'll just sit down and kind of practice my... I think I do a really good job with my infinities there. Whoa. Does anybody go like this for their infinities? Do you write it back? No, you don't! Do you really? You write like the Google eyes? You know, it's like, you know, you like put a person's face around it if you wanted to, you know? You don't do the, okay, wow, alright. Okay, well, do whatever you want, I guess. It's free country. 1.9, page 112, numbers 27 through 29, 39 through 40, 49 through 50, or, yeah, so there's 7 problems. If they state this as a problem and they say over a given interval, they give you an interval, that just means you can set your x min to that and your y max to that. That might help you see a better graph. Okay? So it doesn't, you might see something added to the type of examples we did. All it means is that they're just trying to help you find the, you know, a good picture of the graph, and that's really all there is to it. So let me stop